All right, well, welcome everybody. Today we're here on Tuesday, Get More Transactions, and we have a special guest with us today. And I personally am super excited for this guest that we have. I'll share a little bit more about my experience with Krystal maybe at the end, but Krystal, she is actually not with EXP. She's not in the realtor space. She is actually the co-owner of a company called Clemmer Associates. And what Clemmer is they are really a transformational company that really creates a large amount of change in a small amount of time. I mean, that's the bottom line of what they do. And she's also a #1 best-selling author. Her book is Life by Design, so you may want to look her book up. Phenomenal book. And today she's going to be talking about how do we overcome procrastination, or what holds us back? Why do we procrastinate? Why do we not go after the goals that we set, or what are the things that might be holding us back in that space? And so, that's what really their company and their training is really amazing at, is to help you identify really internally some of the things that are going on within ourselves. And so, like I said, I'm just super excited. She's the VP of Clemmer, like I said, the co-founder or the co-owner as well. And so Krystal, I'm going to turn it over to you. So excited to have you here training with us today, and take it away, friend.
I'm so excited to be here with you today, and I see a couple of very familiar faces, and I'm excited to get an opportunity to be with you all today. And I heard that this was about getting unstuck. So my hope is that I infuse some of that into you, some problem-solving stuff, so that you have more tools in your tool belt for change as you move into this week and everything you're doing in the realtor space and beyond. If you know nothing about me and nothing about our organization, like Kathy said, what we do, what we're designed to do as an organization, is create a large amount of change in a very short period of time. A large amount of change in a short period of time. And we have an example of how to do that, a little bit of an analogy, because I am sure in your space, in EXP, you have gotten to do a lot of how-to trainings, which are great, aren't they? How-to trainings are great. What are great things about how-to trainings? And if you didn't know this, I'm super interactive. So I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. You're going to have lots of opportunities to come off mute. What's great about how-to trainings?
Tell you what to do.
They tell you what to do. Yeah.
Learning new things. How to.
Learning new things. Typically, those things are things that have worked for the person who's teaching you, right? If you're learning from somebody great, those how-tos have worked for them in their life. The problem with how-tos, at least that we've discovered, is most people don't do what they're told. Have you guys found that? There are great how-tos out there. You can go to great conventions. EXP can give you all the incredible material of step-to-step how to build your business, and most people don't do what they're told. Hopefully you're different, and we're going to explore it today. There's also motivation, another great way to learn. Motivation is incredible for what reason? What's great about motivation?
Pumps you up.
It pumps you up. Yeah, you get excited, right? It gets you going. You go to a motivational training and you leave feeling on top of the world. You have all the energy, all the enthusiasm. What's the downside to motivation?
It doesn't last long.
It doesn't last long. Exactly. It doesn't last long. You come out of that motivational training and your tires are slashed on your car and you're not so motivated anymore, right? All of a sudden, your motivation has dropped. The problem with motivation, while it's great because it gets you excited, the problem is it doesn't last and it gets to be duplicated in order to stay motivated. What we do is different because it's not how-tos and it's not motivation. It's transformational. It's designed to create large change in a short period of time because it's designed for you to have an experience of something, which shifts things. Like, how many of you know, as a child, you could be told to wear your seatbelt every single day over and over and over and over again. But if you're in a car accident, nobody has to tell you to wear your seatbelt anymore. You just do it on automatic, right?
Yes.
Because you have an experience of something. So
Mhm.
our trainings are designed to be experiential. Not like a car accident, but experiential, so that you leave with an actual revelation, something that shifts the belief systems that you have in your heart, not just how you think in your head. So here's the analogy that we use in our trainings. I want you to imagine that I was born wearing this stunning set of sunglasses. I know you're all jealous now. I look so cool in these incredible sunglasses. I want you to imagine that I was born in these. Ladies, I have kids. I'm not trying to make it any more painful on you, I promise. Not trying to make it more painful. I have children, but I was born in these. I've been wearing them my whole life long. I don't even know sunglasses exist. These are as much a part of me as my arm. I eat in them, I sleep in them, I work out in them, I prospect clients in them, I sell real estate in them. I do everything in this set of sunglasses. I've never had them off, and I don't even know sunglasses exist. If that were true, and I came up and I was looking at the background of this flip chart, and yes, I am old school. I love a flip chart. Anybody out there miss flip charts? I mean, there's just a few of us. I love a flip chart, pen and paper. So if I was looking at this flip chart, I would say it was what color?
White.
If I'm wearing these sunglasses and I'm looking at this flip chart, what color am I going to say it is?
Blue.
Blue. It's going to be blue. And then whoever chimed in is probably going to help me out and give me the color that they see, which is
White.
white. Exactly. So let's say Kathy really tries to help me out. And I tell her, this blue flip chart is incredible. She might correct me and tell me it's
White.
white. Just because Kathy tells me it's white, does that mean I can see it as white?
No.
No. What if she insists? She comes back to me again. She insists that it's white. Can I see it as white?
No.
No, it's still blue. What if she tries to motivate me? Because Kathy can be she can get you excited, can't she? What if she goes, Krystal, it's white. Can I see it as white?
Not until you take those glasses off.
What glasses? What glasses are you talking about? Here's the thing. When I'm wearing glasses like this, and we are all wearing glasses like this, hundreds, thousands of sets of sunglasses or belief systems that are making our everyday decisions. And there is no way you can tell me what sunglasses I'm wearing. If you tell me, we'll just argue about it. Have you ever been in that situation with somebody? You're in conversation with somebody you're bringing onto your team, and you're like, I promise you, you can double your income this year. And they're like, no, not me. If I had your personality, then I could. Oh, no, not me. I couldn't I can tell you it's a doable deal. You can double your income this year. And they'll fight you and say, no. I live in a small town. Population 2 people, and I'm one of them. Can't do that. You'll fight. Have you ever fought somebody over the limitations that they have? How they see the world? Have you ever had somebody fight for you when you were like enrolled in the way you saw the world? It's blue. There's nothing else. No other way you can see it. It is absolutely this way. Anybody ever done that?
Yes.
Well, yeah. We're talking about being stuck. We're talking about procrastination and getting unstuck. Here's the thing. Whatever your sets of sunglasses are that are keeping you there, nobody else can tell you what they are. In order for me to see anything other than blue, right now I can want to see white and I can't. It's hopeless as long as I have these sunglasses on. It's hopeless. I can want to see it and I can't. In order for me to see anything different, the first thing that I get to do is discover that there is such a thing called sunglasses and go on a discovery of my own. I get to go on a hunt. I get to play detective to discover what mine are. And as soon as I discover that there are such a thing called sunglasses, I find my own and then I take them off. Boom. In an instant, I can see white where I could never see white before. In an instant, I have what we call a revelation. And a revelation creates a large amount of change in a short period of time because it's not about incremental growth. When you have a revelation, when you discover how you're seeing the world that you didn't realize was happening before, that's when you see possibility. That's when you see opportunity. That's when you see getting unstuck completely different than you did walking into the conversation. So when I'm on a hunt for discovery, and again, we've got hundreds, thousands of sets of sunglasses. It's not the ones you know about that are tripping you up. Those ones you are actively choosing. You've already discovered those. Anybody actively know about a set of sunglasses and you're just not doing anything different? Awareness is great, but it is nothing. It will produce no different result without action. This is about discovering, having an awareness, having a revelation, and then taking a different action or making a different choice. So these exist at the heart level. These are belief systems you hold in your heart, not what you think in your head. So to discover your sets of sunglasses, and if you take nothing out of my time with you here today, you want to notice how to discover sunglasses. Because if you can break through, if you can bust up a lens, a current way that you are viewing the world, and all a set of sunglasses is an idea we buy as reality, and then we operate accordingly. If you can find one belief system, one set of sunglasses, one paradigm that is currently running your results and break that up, you will absolutely create large amount of change in a short period of time. You discover one of these, that's a story you're telling yourself or a belief system you're holding around prospecting people, around clients, around, gosh, I could give so many examples. You find just one and you will create large change in a short period of time. Would you like some examples of what some different sets of sunglasses could sound like? Perfect. What about this one? Life is hard. Oh, it's exhausting. The real estate industry right now, it's just so tough. It's like a drag. Life is hard. Raising kids is hard. Prospecting clients is hard. I mean, cold calling, hard. If life is hard, when is it ever going to be easy? If life is hard, when are you ever going to have? If life is hard, when are you actively going to set big goals and go after them? You're not. If you pre-baked it in that it's going to be hard, sometimes is life going to be hard? Sure, life is going to be hard sometimes. If it's hard, do it hard. And if you are making it that way, that's a completely different experience. What about this one? I'm right and you're wrong. I know and you don't. Just ask me, I'll tell you. I know all about it. I'm right and you're wrong. How is this working in relationship? It's not working in relationship, is it? And I'm suggesting that the people who are operating from that framework have no idea it's happening. It's happening on automatic. They're not doing it to argue with you. People aren't on your team aren't doing that to get in a fight with you. They're operating from a belief system that in order for me to be right, somebody else has to be wrong. And if you operate at any level from that, you're going to get into conflict, unnecessary conflict all over the place. And it doesn't help build rapport and it doesn't help build relationship. What if, in order for me to be right, you didn't have to be wrong? What if a conversation wasn't an argument? What if both opinions could coexist? What if rapport was, wouldn't that just be incredible? I personally think so.
Yes.
What about this? Yeah. What about this one? Oh, I can't. That's impossible. I can't do that. no way, I can't. You think I can? I can't. That is impossible for me. There is absolutely no way. If there is no way that it can happen, when will you ever get started? If it's impossible for you, when will you ever try? If it's impossible for you, and at any level, that's a framework you operate from, that's a belief system that exists in your heart, you will check out of things that are actually within your capacity because you have already predetermined that it's not for you. I'm suggesting if you can break that belief system up, you will see opportunities, you will see solutions where you never saw solutions before. And because this entire thing is about getting unstuck, you want to look at how you discover sunglasses. Notice your feelings, notice your behaviors, and then work backwards at what would the thinking be that would drive that feeling or that behavior. What would the thinking be? What would the set of sunglasses be? This is your thinking at a heart level that would drive that behavior. So for instance, if I am somebody who finds myself procrastinating often on something, I would want to look at, okay, if my behavior is that I procrastinate, I push things off to the next day, the next week, the next whatever that is, I would begin to do the internal work of what is the belief system that's running in me? What's the story I'm telling myself that makes that kind of procrastination okay or within the realm of what I'm willing to choose? Maybe you're somebody who goes, I'll have more time later. If that's a belief system that you have in your heart and it's not working, then what's something you could replace it with to get you activated? One belief system that could work is if today was my last day, if I only had today to get this done, then what would I do different today in order to achieve the thing? First day, last day is one of the most powerful. We're not going to get into it today. Totally different teaching and different message, but powerful in terms of busting up procrastination. Maybe you're somebody who your thought process is around, I'm stuck. And that's the belief system that you're in is I'm stuck. I'm stuck in prospecting. I'm stuck. There's no other way. One thing you might be able to replace that with is to begin to ask yourself questions instead of making statements about where you're at. I'm stuck. There's no way. There's no possibilities. That's a very fixed mindset. I'm sure you guys know this at this point in your personal development journey. But how do you go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? You start asking yourself questions that open up a realm of possibility. How can I move the boat forward? If there was a way, what's one thing I could do with what I have in order to move myself forward? We do an entire piece at our 3-day training, which is all about how to solve a problem when you have no idea what to do. How do you get unstuck when you're stuck? How do you raise your intention or your faith for something? And I promise you, an exercise like that, we're not going to do the whole thing here today, will radically change what you see as possible in your career and in your life and in your relationships. But today, I'm going to do a specific piece that's going to give you more opportunity to discover your own sunglasses or belief systems as it relates to solving problems. So this starts, I'm going to switch my camera angle for a minute. This starts, there we go. This starts with a activity or a puzzle to solve, okay? So I'm going to ask everybody to take out a piece of paper. Any blank piece of paper will work. And a pen. Hopefully you have something like that to take notes with in front of you. And some of you might believe that you've done this exercise before because you've done Sales Training 101 or something like that. And if you believe that you know the answer to this puzzle, I have something special in store just for you to keep it interesting for everybody. So I promise to keep it interesting for all involved, even if you know the answer. So I'm going to have you draw 4 sets of 9 dots, okay? They look like the 9 dots that are behind me. And you want to draw 4 different sets. Doesn't matter what size. They can be all over the paper. I have my 4 sets kind of scattered around there that you can see, but you want them to be in sets of 9 dots. Make sure you draw 4 so that you have multiple to play with. 4 sets of 9 dots. When you're complete, if you can just give me a thumbs up, that way I know kind of timing wise where we're at. Okay, Kelly's got hers complete. Good, Kate, Lydia, Kimberly, Kathy, okay. Perfect. So you have your sets of 9 dots. Here is the puzzle, and you are going to go about solving the puzzle. You are going to connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. And I told you I was going to keep it interesting because some of you were like, I totally know how to do it in 4. Great. If you know how to do it in 4, connect all 9 dots using 3 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. And if you know how to do it in 4 and you know how to do it in 3, connect all 9 dots using 2 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. And if you know how to do it in 4, 3, and 2, connect all 9 dots using 1 straight line. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. And that should keep everybody busy. Okay? Perfect. Connect all 9 dots. Go about solving the puzzle. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. You guys are doing great. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. Good. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. If you know how to do it in 4, do it in 3. And if you know how to do it in 3, do it in 2. Does anybody need more time? Oh, okay. I'll give you just 2 more minutes, okay? 2 more minutes. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. There you go. Doing great. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. If you figured out 4, do it in 3. If you figured out 3, do it in 2. If you figured out 2, do it in 1. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. Coming down to our last 30 seconds. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Don't go through any dot twice. Don't lift your pen from the paper. There we go. All righty. I am sure a lot of you still are working on the puzzle. And here's what you're going to learn about us and about just the difference between what we do and maybe what some other training companies do. Some of you think it's about knowing the answer, and I'm going to say it very rarely is about knowing the answer in life. Much more often, the power of any given exercise like this is in how you play the game. It's in how you go about solving the puzzle, because that piece is what is going to give you indicators as to what your sunglasses or your belief systems are. And that's where the real depth comes. That's where the real revelation comes. I'm not going to have the same revelation as you. No two people on this call are going to have the same revelation. But when you have your own, powerful experience about how you show up while attempting the puzzle, that gives you specific information as to how you're operating in your life. There's this very famous saying, we use it all the time: how you do anything is how you do everything, at least to some degree. How you do anything is how you do everything, at least to some degree. So how you went about solving the puzzle, if you're willing to look at it, could be an indicator as to how you approach problems or challenges as they occur in your day-to-day life. What could a real life challenge look like? It could look like bringing on new agents. It could look like closing a sale. It could look like new prospecting. It could look like cold calls. It could look like anything, right? So you want to look at how you personally went about solving the puzzle. That it's not about knowing the answer. Am I going to give you the answer? Sure. But what you really want to look at is how you went about solving the puzzle. I'm going to change my angle again here.
While you're doing that, Krystal, curious, you're going through that process. Did anybody get frustrated and just want to quit? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and maybe nobody here.
Yes.
Maybe nobody here. But you know, there are lots of people. I do this exercise 2 weekends every single month. And I walk around rooms that are attempting the puzzle all the time. And you know that there are people that won't even start the puzzle because they want somebody else to give them the answer. So they think they won't even attempt solving it themselves because they're hoping that the facilitator or the trainer or somebody else in the room is going to give them the answer and they don't have to do the work. If at any level you were in that place of, well, she's just going to give me the answer at the end of this anyways, it's whatever. I'll just wait. I'll just check out. I just won't attempt it. I'm just frustrated. So I'm going to say, I'm going to wait until somebody else gives it. You want to look at when in life you're challenged and you feel like maybe you won't be able to solve it in the time given. Do you check out? And do you check out before you could have found a solution? There's muscle. Your brain's a muscle. Solving problems is a muscle. When you stay in it, even when you are actively frustrated, irritated, come on, some of you, my voice was even grinding. I was just repeating the instructions for you and you were like, where in life is somebody just trying to support you and you're irritated by the sound of their voice, right? That could be your coach in your business. That could be absolutely anybody. But you want to notice if at any level you are offloading responsibility somewhere else. There's probably somewhere in your life where you're looking to somebody else to solve your problem. You're checking out because you're frustrated. There's somebody else's voice or coaching. You don't want to do what's being said, so you check out all the things. And I get to watch people do this puzzle all the time. So I'm going to give you some examples of some different ways that I see people solve the problem or attempt them and the puzzle. And you can tell me whether or not any of these relate to how you went about solving the problem. So sometimes I watch people and they do something that looks like this. That's not it. Anybody relate to that? You never even put your pen on the paper. Did anybody do that? You were trying to solve the puzzle in your head without even putting your pen on your paper. Okay, if you were somebody who never put your pen on your paper, there's a few questions that I would be asking myself if I was in your position. One of those is, what did I think was going to happen? I gave you, or I told you, I instructed you to draw 4 sets of 9 dots. Were you afraid you were going to mess them up? Were you afraid you weren't going to have any more to work with? Were you afraid it wasn't going to look good? I have no idea what went on for you. But the question I would be asking myself if I did something like that and I never put my pen to my paper is, where in my life will I not even get started until I know what it needs to look like? Where in life am I not willing to get messy and figure it out in the process? So you can tell the camera's over here, but I'm like, I want to see your faces. I have very rarely heard of, seen anyone figure it out in their head and then write it down. Very rarely, if ever, have I seen somebody figure it out in their head and then write it down. What I do see happen consistently is people put their pen to their paper and they start to play with the puzzle. They begin to take action. They commit first. And as they're committed and allowing it to be messy, allowing it to look different than they thought it was going to, allowing themselves to create a new solution, they will find an answer along the way. So if you're somebody who feels like you need to know what it needs to look like before you get started, you might want to take on a new set of sunglasses. What if I commit first? What if I allow myself to let the process be messy? What if I get in action before I have all my ducks in a row, and watch how that shifts the trajectory of your results? Not everybody did something like that. Some people, like we talked about, you were hoping somebody else would solve your problems. Sometimes when I'm in a training room, it's not going to look this way on Zoom, but I see people that are, they'll look at their paper, they'll get frustrated and they'll go, I don't know what to do. What do you got? Or sometimes it looks even more sly than that, right? You can imagine it like, and they're kind of peeking around. If I was in that seat, I would be asking myself, where in my life am I looking for other people to solve my problems for me? The opportunity around that is somebody else's solution isn't necessarily yours. And what makes you unique, what makes you special in your industry, what gives you an edge is going to be your authenticity. But if you're looking for somebody else's solution, I'm not saying don't take good counsel. Good counsel is great. And at a certain point, trust your ability to solve problems as well. Then you have both leveraged in any given situation. But for a lot of you, it didn't look like either of those things. A lot of you, it looked something maybe like this. Can you see the top of my flip chart? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Shucks. Man. 1, 2, 3. Darn. Huh. 1, 2, 3. Not again. Did anybody have anything on their paper that looked something like this? Okay, I got a lot of that. Okay, beautiful. So here, did anybody feel like they solved it in 4? Anybody, first time student, feel like they solved it in 4? Chuck, you got one? Will you show us your paper?
I'm not sure I understood the very beginning, but the second, I did all sets of 9. I don't know if you can see them or not.
Oh, he
center one.
rearranged his dots.
Yeah, but that's how I drew them to begin with.
There you go. And creative solutions. I love it. So it doesn't necessarily follow this instruction, but you know what it does? It gets you further than you were to begin with. Okay, and good. Anybody else have sets of 9 dots that they've solved in 4 lines? Nobody yet. Okay, would you like me to give you an answer? And I say unanswer because you guys get there's multiple ways to solve this puzzle, right? Chuck found a totally different way. He redesigned the dots. Here's one way that you could do it in this configuration of 9 dots. I could have done something that looked like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you notice about the solution?
Outside the
You thought
box.
outside the box.
What box?
You thought outside the dots.
Well, outside the dots, outside the box. Anybody have some level of that going on? You saw a box around the 9 dots.
Yes.
And you were operating. I have it drawn out a little bit larger that I'll use so that we can look at it together. and you saw maybe something that looked like this. Did anybody see a 9-dot box in their head? Okay. So if you look at your paper and those red lines don't exist, but you believed that they did at some level and that you had to operate inside this box, the question I would be asking myself is, where in my life am I setting up limitations for myself that simply don't exist? Where in my life am I setting up limitations for myself that simply don't exist? Here's what I will say about getting unstuck. Usually, the stuckness exists because of these red dots. If we're going to talk about getting unstuck, if we're going to talk about solving a problem when you have no idea what to do, most people get stuck or they procrastinate because they are inside this line of red dots. And this can look like absolutely anything. This can look like, name a goal that you have around EXP. What's a goal that you guys have around EXP?
Add 10 agents.
10 agents. Okay, so I am going to add 10 agents after I figure out how to network within my region. I'm going to add 10 agents after I go to the convention. I am going to add 10 agents, but I really don't want to cold call. I'm going to add 10 agents, but here's what I'm not willing to do. I'm going to add 10 agents once my other agents are producing the way I think they should. I'm going to add 10 agents once my finances are where I believe that they should be. You guys, it could be absolutely anything, but these 9 dots are our limitations that we give ourselves that actually don't exist. But we made them up, and we now believe that they're reality, and we operate accordingly. The 9-dot box can also be seen as your belief systems. Most people are searching for the solution to their problem within their comfort zone. You guys get what I mean? This could be called your comfort zone, okay? Where are your goals and your dreams? Where does the 10 agents exist on this chart? It's like not
Damn.
just out here, right? But it's like way out here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your 10 agents is up here, this big star. This is the place where your 10 agents exist. Except for most of us are searching for our solutions within our comfort zone. It's not what we realize we're doing, you guys. It's what's happening in automatic. This is why a training like what we do, I think, is so valuable and so important, is because it's designed for you to have a revelation around the things that are keeping you trapped in this space that you don't even recognize are keeping you there. Your goal and dream is out here. Now I want you to imagine that you're going after your 10 agents and you're not here, right on the inside of your comfort zone, and you're not here yet, but you're like right here. You have your toe out on the other side of your comfort zone, right? And you're right on the other side of your comfort zone. And what is happening when you're right outside your comfort zone? Something is happening.
Shaking.
Yeah, you're shaking out here. How does it feel when you're right outside your comfort zone, you guys?
Little
Uncomfortable.
friction.
Uncomfortable. How else does it feel?
Anxious.
Anxious. Yeah. Come on. You're calling prospects that are ready to hang up on you. How does it feel?
Scary.
Scary.
Very unnerving.
Unnerving. Yeah, okay, so it is all, we feel all of these ways when we are just outside of our comfort zone and the shaking begins to happen. Now, how many of you know you go after a big goal and dream, you set the 10 agents, you're like running for that goal and life knocks you around a little bit. You feel a couple of these ways, and then what happens is you pull back.
Back into our hole.
We what?
Run back into our hole.
We run back into our hole. We say we can't. We collect the evidence of why it's not possible for us, why full-time would never work, blah, 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 blah. All the stories, right? And then now all of a sudden the shaking's not happening out here, it's happening here. And again, you go after some big goal and dream and you pull back again. Anybody ever met somebody who used to be a mover and a shaker and all of a sudden they're living within this really small realm? And you're like, what happened? This is all it is. People just pulled back. Now, when you go to a motivational training, and ours is not motivational, by the way, I'm just going to tell you, transformational for sure, motivational, maybe, definitely transformational, because we're going to give you tools, real life, day-to-day revelations that are going to support you in whatever it is that you have next for you on your docket. Do they tell you though at motivational trainings, you're going to go after your goals and it's going to be scary and uncomfortable and you're going to want to pull back? Do they tell you any of that stuff? They don't tell you it's going to be scary. They tell you it's going to be exciting. It's going to be so fun. You're going to live your dreams. Are they lying? No, they're not lying. The only difference is what you choose to call it. How many of you love roller coasters? How many of you hate them? Did you know they're the same ride? Here's what, I'm not a doctor by any means. And what I have been told is it's actually the same chemical that exists in your body. And some people have that chemical release and the shaking starts, like physical manifestations of fear in your body are like sweaty palms, sweaty pits, the shaking happens, the flip-flopping in your stomach, all that stuff. But if you were super excited about something, wouldn't you experience the exact same things? Like if the first date you ever wanted to go on, not forced to go on, wanted to go on, you felt all that same stuff, right? Butterflies in your stomach, sweaty palms, shaky knees. The only difference is what you choose to call it. So if you wanted to call this something different, you could call this a thrill, couldn't you? You could call this exciting, couldn't you? You could call this adventure. You could call this enthusiasm. Breakthrough. You could call this all sorts of stuff. Are you more or less likely to get your goal when you call it this? You're more likely to go get your goal because you're more willing to stay in the game. When those butterflies come and you start going, oh, this is a thrill. I am on the adventure of a lifetime. You are giving yourself fuel to continue in the race you started. It's just a different belief system. So the next time you're going after this 90-day, whatever it is, and you guys, it is what you choose it to be, period, what you choose to call it. Most of the time we call inside of this comfortable, which means this we would pretend is uncomfortable. This is the right way to do something. This would be wrong. Who wants to be wrong? This could be safe. Then this would be unsafe. If you're in any of those dichotomies, you are less likely to go out and get your big goals and dreams. But if you can redesign it, if you can see this is right and this not as wrong, just as a different way to do it, you will actually be liberated to take different actions outside of anything that you currently see possible. And then you're going to go after your, I don't know if you do like a 90-day commitment or whatever. In our training rooms, we always encourage you to set a 90-day goal. You go after that 10 new agents, and now all of a sudden you're in motion. You get through your comfort zone. You're in the shaking, and whoop, you get the 10 new agents. Now look what happens. Drum roll, please. Ta-da! You can see my new dots. You actually go out and you achieve a big risky goal, you guys, and you expand your personal capacity for success. You go out and you do something that up and until this point, you didn't see as possible. You will absolutely radically change the trajectory of what you do next, because the next goal is going to be outside that, and the next goal is going to be outside that, and you are going to be on a growth trajectory. Here's what I can tell you from personal experience. People who create big results can lose it all and do it again. Why? Like a person that makes $1 million, loses $1 million, makes $1 million again. It's within their muscle memory. Every time you push the boundary and you create something you previously saw as outside the box, impossible, whatever the thing is, every time you do that, you build new muscle for yourself and what you're capable of. And capacity is everything in an industry like you're in. So, Kathy, I hope I went a little bit over the time we discussed in terms of the 45 minutes. Did you guys gain value in that?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I hope that it put some practical application, discovery stuff in your hands. Some things that maybe you had notices, some notices you will be making. I promise you, you dive into experiential learning with us or anybody else, it will radically change the results that you create. It's good.
So good, so good. So want to open it up for anybody that has questions for a little bit. We've got about 12 minutes left. So does anybody have a question for Krystal? Maybe something you're struggling with. It could be anything. What questions do y'all have?
I just wanted to find out if I could screenshot that image that she just wrote on the bigger one, like if she could step to the side so I can screenshot it. I feel like I want to take that and put that in my office where I do my lead genning to remind me to think out of the box.
Absolutely. Use it as a trigger device. My only request is you don't try to duplicate the exercise, and you want to take it and use it as a trigger device, please do so. Can you see it now?
Yep, I got it. I appreciate you. And it's going to go in my office on my wall. I'll send you a picture.
I love it.
That's a good trigger device to have up there. Does anybody have a question?
Krystal, in addition to just kind of reframing anxious and scared and to excited, and what else might help us kind of create a different experience of going for the goals, handling the rejections, and just continue to push?
What else is going to help? So reframing is one thing, and actually Kelly knows me well enough. Like, I'm going to go right back into the tools that we use, right? There is nothing quite like an experiential training. And you know this better than anybody else, but something like when you can have a radical revelation around personal responsibility, everything changes. And a lot of us come onto this call and we're like, I am personally responsible. And my experience is like, as we peel the onion, we find new layers. When I have a revelation around, I don't need to be in resentment or resistance, and I can surrender, not give up, not resignation. That is not what I mean. If you know me for even a half a second, you know that's not what I mean. But when you can have a revelation that you don't have to fight, you will have so much more energy to pursue new leads, handle rejection, not take things personally, and there is liberty in that. So, the deep work, I guess, the fun deep work. Because when you change something external, you get incremental change. When you change something internal, you get exponential change. Good.
So one of the things, Krystal, that I know is maybe just touch on this without giving the whole training, because we obviously don't have time, but is that in the weekend workshop, y'all give a formula that guarantees success in anything that you're striving to go after. And so maybe give a high level just explanation of, or is that just a simple enough? Is what I said just good enough, but there's a formula that I know you'll give that really, again, guarantees success.
And if you're looking for like head level knowledge on that formula, 2 great ways to do it, because it's intention plus mechanism equals results. And I can tell you that all day long, and you are going to get that into your head. And honestly, it does you very little good. It sounds simple and almost ridiculous at how simple it sounds. And when you get the depth of a formula like that in your spirit, in your heart, it totally radically changes your results. And to Kathy's point, it guarantees results 100 times out of 100. Now, for depth in that, the best way to get depth in that is going to be to come to the 3-day training, because we're going to do an experiential exercise around it that will take it from your head to your heart. If you wanted a taster to put your foot in the water, I'll put a link up here, clemmer.com/share. That's our website. If you go to that, you'll see an hour-long video. It's of me. Actually, I think it's 55 minutes for my more analytical types. That video has me doing sunglasses, and it also has a taster of what you can gain out of the formula Kathy is referencing that guarantees results.
So as we're getting ready to wrap up here, so a few of us have been through the weekend workshop that she's referenced a couple of times, and I would just love to have a couple of y'all share your experience, just in a minute or less of what that weekend did for y'all. And as you guys know that are on here, we don't ever come on here and sell anything. Our intention as the founders of the Freedom Team is always just to give value. We very rarely do we ever have anybody on here that's going to sell anything to you. But I myself have been through the work. I have worked very closely with Krystal through this work, and it has literally transformed my life, because as she talked about with the sunglasses, I mean, at my age, I mean, I'm only a couple of years older than some of y'all on here, and I realize that, but I have learned more about myself, my deeper belief systems that I didn't even know I had, in the work that they do in this week and the weekend that she's referring to. And so, so Scott, I know you have gone through that weekend as well, and maybe just give a 45-second testimony on your experience.
I was the exact person that drew those red dots around those, and probably still do in some level, but I've been through the weekend many times, and the reason is because I first entered the room with a set of sunglasses, and once that box expanded, all of a sudden I go through the weekend again, and I am seeing from a totally different perspective. And it doesn't matter how many times you go through, the revelations are probably more, just because I can now see a bigger playing field. And seeing what I have either discovered, it just allows me to finally become truly more authentic with clients and with the growth that I want in agent attraction.
Yes. Yes, so good. It's like she said, we have thousands of sunglasses, and you discover 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets, 10 sets through the weekend. The beautiful thing about their weekend, once you go through one, you can go through any at no cost from then on, anywhere, that they have them in the country. And Kelly, you too have been through a few weekends. And just give a high level.
For me, Kathy, you introduced me to it 2.5 years ago. When I leaned into it in that very first year, I actually tripled my income, and had never seen that kind of shift in my income without working harder or longer. Brian and I actually took 3 months of vacation that same year. So it was a matter of, like Scott said, just showing up differently and engaging differently and expanding that box that Krystal talked about.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah.
So if any of y'all are interested in the weekend, first of all, I have one. I'm actually bringing them to Nashville this weekend to do one of these workshops. It's the first time they've been in Nashville in over 15 years. And, you know, I have a lot of people in my network and my circle that I know because the testimonies you've heard, my personal experience, deserve this work and deserve to really achieve the things that they're looking to achieve in life. And we all have those sunglasses. So Krystal has been kind enough to give me a code that will that really gives a half price discount off of the weekend experience. And so if you're close to Nashville and you want to really do something wild and crazy, I learned about this from a friend, and I jumped on a plane and flew to San Antonio when I attended my first personal mastery, is what they call it. And I too have been through a few of these since that point. But we're having one here in Nashville, and if you want to do something wild and crazy, jump on a plane, come join us in Nashville this weekend, and I'd be honored to host you with that. It's going to be a phenomenal training. If you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you're procrastinating, if what Krystal talked about resonates with you at any level, this is a tiny example of the things that will happen and the things you discover as you go through the weekend. And so Krystal, I'm going to let you kind of wrap it up there at the end. And I appreciate you so much coming on and training this team today. I know without a doubt that they have gotten some value that they can take into their world.
It's beautiful, and I'm privileged and honored, honestly, to in any way give you something that's going to leverage more success for you moving forward. So those testimonials are real, and whatever it is that you are looking and wishing was different in your life, or whatever New Year's resolution you've been after that just feels like it's consistently like, I just keep missing it. As good as your life is right now, if there's anything that could be better, we would love to partner with you in the kind of revelations that make that a reality. If Kathy's class this weekend is at all nibbling at the back of your brain, I don't think that that is on accident. I think that's a divine appointment. I think that there is a reason for that. And in 6 months, you are going to be so grateful that you jumped on that opportunity. And there's no way for me to explain that to you to go, because you don't know what you don't know. And the beautiful part is that you don't know yet. And if you're willing to jump in and take a risk, I promise you it's going to be more than worth your time, so much so that we offer a money back guarantee. You attend all 3 days of the training, you don't get your money's worth, personally or professionally, we'll refund you within 30 days. So I believe deeply in what we do, and we would love to see you there. So have an incredible training, go knock them alive. Create big things in real estate. There's people looking for what you have, and hopefully we get to see yourself soon.
Yes.
Thank you, Krystal.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
So great.
Krystal. Reach out to me if anybody wants that code, and happy to give it to you. I just put my number in the chat. And so appreciate you guys showing up, and Krystal, thank you again.
So grateful.
Thanks,
for the opportunity.
Krystal.
See you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.